Back in the 1970s, farmers needed tractors that could work hard all day without drinking a gallon every hour. These weren't fancy machines. They were tough, fuel-smart workhorses that kept America's heartland moving. Today, we're counting down 7 of the most fuel-efficient tractors of that golden decade, machines that prove power and economy can go hand in hand. And trust me, the one at number 1 is something you'll never forget. At number 7, the Allis-Chalmers 185. Built from 1970 to 1981, this bright orange workhorse carried on the proud AC tradition of strength and simplicity. Under the hood was a reliable 4.9-liter diesel engine, putting out around 75 horsepower, just the right amount for plowing, baling, hauling wagons, or running the auger all day long. And it did all that without guzzling fuel. The 185 was known for running easy, steady, and light on diesel. Its power director transmission gave smooth shifts without wasting energy, one of the reasons many farmers swore they could go a full day's work and still have fuel left for tomorrow. It wasn't about fancy gadgets or high horsepower, it was about dependability, every single morning. In small and mid-sized farms, the 185 quickly became a favorite everyday tractor, the one that started first in the cold, pulled steady through mud, and never asked for much more than a little diesel and a grease gun. Even decades later, many of these orange machines are still out there cutting hay or raking fields, proof that good engineering never goes out of style. And when you talk to folks who own one, you'll hear the same quiet pride in their voice. They remember that low diesel hum, that familiar Allis-Chalmers seat, and the feeling of knowing their tractor would always get the job done. It wasn't just another tool, it was part of the family. Today, if you can find a clean Allis-Chalmers 185, it might run you anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000, depending on condition. For a piece of history that still earns its keep, that's not a bad deal at all. This tractor stands as a reminder of a time when efficiency meant more than just saving fuel. It meant making every drop count, every hour count, every acre count. But as good as the 185 was, the tractor in the next spot, well, that one took fuel economy to a whole new level. Because when Ford stepped up with a turbocharged answer, it truly changed everything. At number 6, the Ford 7000. We have a tractor that marked a turning point, not just for Ford, but for how farmers thought about diesel power and efficiency. This is the Ford 7000, built from 1971 to 1975, and it was the first production Ford tractor to come standard with a turbocharged diesel engine. Under that iconic blue hood sat a 4.2-liter, 4-cylinder diesel, rated at around 85 horsepower. It wasn't the biggest engine in the field, but that turbo made all the difference. It gave the 7000 strong pulling power when you needed it, and light fuel use when you didn't. For farmers running long days on the plow or the baler, that meant real savings at the pump and fewer stops between sunrise and sunset. The 7000 carried Ford's Select-O-Speed or 8-speed manual transmission, smooth, simple, and efficient. It made shifting easy and helped the tractor stay in the sweet spot of power without wasting fuel. On smaller and mid-sized farms, this machine quickly became a trusted hand, reliable, easy to maintain, and comfortable enough to sit on all day. And folks who owned one will tell you, the 7000 had a special kind of charm. It started right up on cold Midwest mornings when others struggled. It handled hay fields, wagons, and loaders with the same steady rhythm, that deep diesel hum that told you everything was working just the way it should. Many say the Ford 7000 was the farmer's friend, tough, honest, and dependable. It didn't have the flash of a big Deere or the roar of a case, but it earned respect quietly, acre after acre, season after season. If you're lucky enough to find a well-kept Ford 7000 today, prices usually run between $7,000 and $12,000, depending on condition and hours. And for many collectors or working farmers, it's worth every penny, because this blue machine still knows how to get the job done without wasting a drop. The Ford 7000 stands as a reminder of the moment when technology and practicality finally met in the middle, when turbocharging meant more than just speed, it meant smart power. But as efficient as the Ford was, the tractor in our next spot took that idea even further, blending smooth power with legendary reliability. And trust me, that one, you're going to want to see. At number 5, the Oliver 1755. Comes a tractor that carried the spirit of American craftsmanship right into the 1970s, strong, steady, and surprisingly fuel efficient for its day. Built between 1970 and 1975, one of the last true Olivers before the company's name began to fade into history. Underneath that rich meadow green paint sat a Waukesha 310 cubic inch diesel engine, smooth, quiet, and easy on fuel. Rated at around 86 horsepower, the 1755 wasn't made to brag about numbers, it was made to work, to plow, to disc, to haul, all day, without wasting a drop more diesel than it had to. Farmers loved how it pulled steady at low RPMs, sipping fuel while keeping the job moving. One of the 1755's smartest features was its hydropower drive, a 2-speed power shift built right into the transmission. With the pull of a lever, you could change speeds on the go, keeping your engine in that perfect, fuel-saving range. For long field days, that meant more acres covered and fewer stops at the tank. The Oliver 1755 was also known for its balance, not too heavy, not too light, giving great traction without tearing up the soil. It had that solid feel in the driver's seat, that quiet confidence that comes from knowing your machine is built right. And maybe that's why so many farmers still smile when they talk about their old Oliver. They remember that smooth diesel tone, that soft clutch, and that bright green hood leading the way down the field. It was a tractor that didn't fight you, it worked with you. Today, finding a clean 1755 can be a bit of a treasure hunt. Prices range from about $6,000 to $10,000, depending on condition and hours. And for those who find one, it's not just a piece of equipment, it's a piece of history, a reminder of the last great era of independent Oliver engineering. Many collectors call the 1755 the gentle giant, quiet, reliable, and surprisingly thrifty on diesel. It may not roar like the big red or green machines, but in the right hands, it could outwork them just the same. But as fine as the Oliver was, the tractor in the next spot took things up another notch, with bigger power, smarter design, and an efficiency that made even the skeptics stop and stare. At number 4, the JI Case 1070. Built from 1970 through 1978, the JI Case 1070 stood tall in the fields, known for its mix of raw strength, smooth handling, and fuel-saving efficiency that made it a true king of its class. Under the hood sat Case's own 451 cubic inch diesel engine, a 6-cylinder workhorse rated at about 108 horsepower. It had plenty of muscle for the heavy work, but what really impressed farmers was how little fuel it needed to get the job done. Case engineers built this engine to deliver torque at low RPMs, meaning it pulled strong without burning through diesel. Many farmers would tell you that Big Orange had just seemed to sip fuel all day long. The 1070's power shift transmission was one of its biggest advantages. With the flick of a lever, you could shift on the move, keeping the tractor right in its most efficient range. No clutching, no stalling, just smooth, steady power from row to row. For long hours in the field, that meant less fatigue, fewer refills, and more acres covered before sundown. Inside, the 1070 offered one of the most comfortable rides of the early 70s. The cab was quiet, spacious, and well-insulated, a big step forward from the open-air rigs of the decade before. Case even added an optional air conditioning unit, something that made those hot July days a little more bearable for the hard-working folks behind the wheel. But the best part? This tractor didn't just look powerful, it earned respect. Many owners still remember how it would pull the same load as a larger John Deere or IH, yet burn less fuel doing it. It was tough, efficient, and proudly American, everything a farmer could ask for in a diesel machine. Today, if you can find a well-kept Case 1070, prices usually range from $8,000 to $14,000, depending on condition. And for that price, you're not just buying a tractor, you're buying a symbol of an era when Case stood toe-to-toe with the giants and proved that orange could compete with green and red. Even now, more than 40 years later, You can still find 1070s working the fields, their paint faded, their decals worn, but their engine still steady as ever. That deep case rumble is a sound many farmers never forget. It was powerful, efficient, and built to last, a true agri-king in every sense of the word. But as good as the Case 1070 was, the tractor coming up next took efficiency and comfort to another level entirely. At number 3, the Massey Ferguson 1105. Built from 1973 to 1978, this was the decade when Massey showed the world that power and fuel economy didn't have to be opposites, they could work hand in hand. Under the hood sat the famous Perkins ATC 6.3541 turbocharged diesel engine, a smooth-running, 110 horsepower six-cylinder that delivered strong torque with remarkably low fuel use. Farmers loved it because it could run a full day of heavy work, plowing, disking, or hauling grain, without demanding another fill-up. That Perkins motor had a gentle, steady tone that was easy on the ears and easy on the wallet. Massey paired that efficient engine with their multi-power transmission, a clever 2-speed shift-on-the-go system that let you keep pulling through tough spots without losing momentum. It meant you could work smarter, not harder, saving time and diesel in every pass. The 1105 also brought comfort to a new level for its time. Its wide, quiet cab had better visibility, improved airflow, and even optional air conditioning. For farmers who spent 12 hours a day in the seat, that comfort mattered, especially when the summer sun beat down on those long Midwest fields. Out in the field, this machine had a reputation for running cool and steady. It didn't waste fuel or effort, it just kept going. And that's why, even decades later, many 1105s are still out there earning their keep, proving that Massey Ferguson got the formula just right. If you're looking to own one today, a good condition 1105 usually sells between $9,000 and $15,000, depending on hours and setup. For that price, you're getting a tractor that still has plenty of life left, and one that helped shape what efficient farming meant in the 1970s. And for a lot of farmers, just hearing that low Perkins rumble brings back memories, long rows of wheat under a red sunset, the smell of diesel and fresh-cut hay in the air, and that sense of quiet pride that only comes from a day's honest work. The Massey Ferguson 1105 proved that power could be efficient and comfort could be practical. But as impressive as this red beauty was, the tractor sitting in the number 2 spot became a true icon of the decade, a machine that redefined what efficiency looked like in the modern farm. And once you hear that name, you'll know exactly why. At number 2, the John Deere 4430. Built from 1973 to 1977, this green and yellow legend was more than just a machine. It was a symbol of progress, comfort, and efficiency that farmers had long been waiting for. The 4430 came equipped with Deere's powerful 6.6-liter turbocharged diesel, producing about 125 horsepower. But what made it truly special wasn't just raw power, it was how efficiently it used every drop of fuel. The combination of that smooth turbocharged engine and the quad-range transmission gave the 4430 an unmatched balance of strength and thrift. Farmers quickly learned they could pull hard all day, finish the job, and still have fuel left for tomorrow. John Deere didn't just build a tractor, they built an experience. The SoundGuard cab was revolutionary at the time, fully enclosed, quiet, and comfortable. For the first time, farmers could spend 12 hours in the field without being covered in dust or deafened by engine noise. It had good visibility, a comfortable seat, and controls that just felt right under the hand. For many, it was the first time driving a tractor actually felt good. Out in the field, the 4430 was a dependable partner. It could handle heavy tillage, baling, and hauling without complaint. That steady green hum became part of the soundtrack of the 1970s Midwest, a sound you could hear echoing across cornfields at sunrise and again at sunset. And when it came to fuel economy, the 4430 set a new benchmark. Many owners reported burning up to 15% less diesel than other tractors in its class, a big deal during the fuel crunch years of the 70s. That's one reason you still see so many of them working today. They were built right, and they ran smart. If you're in the market for one today, a well-kept John Deere 4430 will typically cost between $15,000 and $25,000, depending on condition. And many collectors say it's worth every penny, not just for its performance, but for the pride that comes with owning one of the most iconic tractors ever built. The John Deere 4430 proved that efficiency and innovation could go hand in hand, and that comfort didn't mean compromise. But as legendary as the 4430 was, the tractor that takes our #1 spot became something even greater, a machine so powerful, so efficient, and so beloved. It turned into a true American icon. And trust me, you won't forget it once you hear its name. And at #1, the International Harvester 1066. Built between 1971 and 1976, this red powerhouse wasn't just a bestseller, it was a legend. A tractor so strong, so reliable, and so efficient that many farmers still swear by it today. Under that bold red hood beat the heart of a DT414 turbocharged diesel engine, a 6.8-liter beast pushing around 125 horsepower. It was pure strength, delivered with surprising efficiency. The 1066 could pull large implements through tough soil and still stretch a tank of fuel farther than most of its rivals. Many farmers said it was the best bang for your diesel dollar. But what really made the 1066 special was how it handled that power. The torque amplifier transmission let operators shift under load, keeping momentum steady and saving fuel with every pass. It worked smart, not wasteful, using torque, not throttle, to get the job done. That's the kind of efficiency that made a difference when diesel prices were climbing and every gallon mattered. And for the folks who ran them, the 1066 wasn't just another machine. It was part of the family. You could see one hooked to a plow in the morning, hauling wagons by noon, and baling hay until dark, all without skipping a beat. Farmers trusted it, depended on it, and, over time, grew attached to it. Out in the field, the 1066 had a sound all its own, that deep, confident rumble of a big red diesel working under load. To many who grew up around it, that sound still brings back memories, the smell of cut hay, the feel of warm metal after sunset, and the satisfaction of a long day's work done right. The cab might not have been the quietest, but it was roomy and well laid out. Everything about the 1066 felt sturdy, built to last, built to work. And judging by how many are still running today, International Harvester definitely got it right. On today's market, a clean 1066 in good working shape can bring anywhere from $12,000 to $25,000, and the fully restored ones? They can go even higher, because collectors know this is more than a tractor, it's a piece of American farming history. For farmers across the Midwest, the 1066 wasn't just fuel efficient, it was trustworthy, tough, and timeless. It represented an era when hard work met honest engineering, when a man and his tractor could handle just about anything the land threw their way. The International Harvester 1066, the king of the 1970s, the red workhorse that built the heartland, and still turns heads 5 decades later. And maybe, just maybe, it reminds us all of a time when farming was simpler, diesel was cheaper, and tractors like this one ruled the earth with pride. And that wraps up our countdown of 7 fuel-efficient tractors from the 1970s, machines that weren't just tools, but faithful partners in the fields. Each one carried the spirit of hard work, honesty, and resilience, reflecting both the farmers who drove them and the brands that built them to last. So, what about you? Have you ever driven one of these tractors, or worked alongside one in the fields? Because here in America's heartland, strength isn't measured just in horsepower or diesel burned. It lives in the hands and hearts of those who guide these machines day after day, season after season, and in every acre of land they help cultivate.